I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to yet another player review. We have the 95 rated premium Flashback Premium Mertens. Of course, this is available for the rest of the game, so feel free to take your time with it. And I mean, in theory, on paper, you've got an end game card here. You know, you've got 99s everywhere, and if they're not 99, they're very high 90s. There's only really two issues, one of which is staring you in the face. Not quite yet. But it will do once the in-game stats come up, because it's a bright red stat. It is, of course, the strength at 48. That is a problem, but at the same time, not really, because he's got that mobility, he's got the skills, and there are an awful lot of cards in this game that have that, like, strength deficit compared to their height and sort of weight and pace and all the rest of it. It's a trade-off, and for the most part, I'm happy to pay it. So 4-star, 4-star, 5-7, high-low work rates, which is sensational, short and lean body type, which seems to be the way that EA do things lately. They release an awful lot of cards that tend to be this sort of short and lean. 99 acceleration, 90 sprint speed, 99 agility, balance, dribbling, with 98 finishing, 95 short passing, 96 vision, of course, 99 positioning. There is very, very little to say about the card in the way of a negative. And I'm not going to dwell on any negative for too long. We're going to talk about the, I suppose, some of the links you could get into him. There are a lot of cards out there that will link in. And also, we're going to talk about that bridging quality between the likes of Mertens and then the 98 team of the season, Mbappe or Neymar or something. Because we're going to use Mbappe and Neymar as the examples here. I'm not going to talk about Ronaldo, Messi, and all the rest of the other cards, with like Ben Yedder, for example, we could mention. Ben Yedder is actually a really, really nice example. Because in my opinion, yeah, screw it. Let's talk about Ben Yedder, because it's a Mertens review. Let's talk about Ben Yedder. No, we're going to compare them. Not in sense of stats or anything like that, but Ben Yedder is one of those broken cards in the game that even now, the 83 base card, I come up against sometimes, and it causes me problems. I still struggle to defend against it sometimes, especially when they have like a Hunter Chem still on it, and then you've got obviously a player that's very good, and all of a sudden you've got this card that, okay, not as good as the likes of Mertens or the higher rated Ben Yedders, but he's still capable hitting it on either foot. You've got the finishing and the passing and all the rest of it. It's still a very good card. I played one the other day, actually, in Rivals, who put an attribute card on him, stuck a Hunter on him. He was the 83 rated base card, and I almost felt like he had the team of the season card. It was ridiculous how good it was. But with that being said, the reason I mention him is because they are comparable. You know, they've got the same level of sort of dribbling and ball control, and the height is quite similar. The finishing isn't too dissimilar. The pace is there. They are very similar players, but everyone will consider Ben Yedder the better player over Mertens, despite the fact that maybe some of the stats will go in favour of Mertens. I've not looked at them side by side. I'm going to do that now when you have a look at the team. Obviously, the team is a very good one. There are a couple of not so meta or endgame cards in there, Ramsey being one. Kamara's not the best. I actually really don't like Thiago Silva's card. I don't know what it is. I just can't get on with it. And of course, Savigny is good, but he is a B-Tech Aouar in FIFA, not so much in real life. Aouar, by the way, sensational. But that being said, I've got the comparison up now. Ben Yedder, 2 overalls higher. He is 4 times the price. I'm lying. He's like 6 times the price. Crazy stuff. With that being said, 2,516 in-game stats compared to Mertens' 2,384. So there are a lot of in-game stats difference between the two. And as I'm scrolling down the comparison, the only department that is, I would say the only department that the Mertens will win is going to be the dribbling, aside from the composure. Everything else is either equal or Mertens just about takes the crown. But even finishing, Ben Yedder beats him by 1. Shot power beats him by 4. So Ben Yedder's the better card. Who'd have thought it, right? Well, everyone knew that was going to be the case. That's why Ben Yedder's used an awful lot more. But it's not like there's that much in it, really. You know, the points are won in the defensive department, incidentally, like heading, for example. Ben Yedder's nearly 50 points better than Mertens in terms of heading, and he's like 10 or 15 better in defensive awareness, like things that don't really matter. So with that being said, they are very, very similar. But Ben Yedder's that broken card that just takes him one step further, and he is 100% endgame. Mertens is a player that you'll complete, put in your team, and keep him there till the end of the game, no doubt. Does that make him endgame? To a certain extent, yes, I think it does. But just be aware that sort of player like Ben Yedder, Mbappe, Neymar, they are that one small step above Mertens. But it's only that one little bridge. It's not an awful lot. You know, like there's awful lot of cards out there, like 93 Osman, for example. He is a very good player, and I'm a massive fan of him. But he doesn't compare to the likes of Mertens or Ben Yedder. He's bridges and bridges and steps away. They're not in the same category, in my opinion. This Mertens card is very close to being in that top end. There's only really one negative to say about him, and of course we mentioned strength, and that's something that I am gonna write down as a con. But I don't really consider it as being a negative and a reason not to go after the card. Neither is my next point, but my next point is something that I did feel that was worth a mention, right? And that is composure. Composure for me in this game can be very hit or miss. It's sometimes a case of it doesn't make a blind bit of difference, and then other times it's blatantly obvious that the composure is a problem. And with Mertens, for me personally, might not be the same for you. Maybe it's just the way I'm taking certain shots. But I don't really struggle to score goals in Weekend League, in Rivals or anything. But the composure for me isn't top quality. Now, there is a way to improve it, and I've not done that with the chem style I've chosen. Because the Hunter, and I've talked about it before, and maybe I'll mention it again. I'm not going to dwell on it too much here, but the Hunter and the Shadow Chem styles, I feel like, are a little bit broken. If you apply them to certain players, like people do it with Ben Yedder all the time, he doesn't really need it, but people do it anyway, and it just turns him into this stupid, overpowered monster. And with Mertens, I feel like it kind of does the same, although we don't get that composure boost. So what I could have done, for example, was given him a sniper, because he's quick enough, and then, of course, he gets 93 composure. I could maybe have given him maybe not a Guardian's not it. The composure is the only chem style we can give to boost that composure is that sniper. So with a sniper, is he going to be better in front of goal? There is a very small possibility, yes, but that's why I went with a Hunter, because to be honest, the small possibility is it's negligible, so I'm just going to put up with it, and I've given him that Hunter to boost up that sprint speed, to give him the better shot power, the volleys, and push that finish into 99, even though it was already 98 anyway. And of course, it's a broken chem style that I feel does a little bit extra to cards than it says on the tin. Don't have any medical evidence of it, of course, but it's just one of those things that's in my mind, so I'm going to take it as gospel. But with that being said, this card is sensational. And if you pick it up and you don't already have Neymar, Mbappe, Ben Yedder in your team, then he will fit in that team and he will be there till the end of the game. Even the likes of Ben Yedder, Mbappe and Neymar, he does compete with them. I just think he falls slightly short of their... It's not even stats or anything like that. It's just the way that they play in game. They just feel different. They hit differently. And they're a little bit more, not even meta, but they are that sort of, the word broken, I guess. It's almost like a cheat code. They do feel that extra bit good. And it's like icons. Certain icons on paper are terrible, and yet in-game they feel better than these higher-rated Flashback or Team of the Week or Team of the Season cards. Why? It's the icon effect. They just feel better because they're icons, and I feel like that's what Neymar, Ben Yedder, and Mbappe give you. They give you that little extra. But that's not to say that this card isn't unbelievably good. I had a slight problem with his composure, his consistency in front of goal, but everything else about him, his dribbling is sensational, his movement is off the charts. Honestly, he feels so agile, it's crazy. And all game as well. I wouldn't worry about the stamina being 90, not 99. That's not going to affect you at all. He is capable of just running rings around defenders the entire game. He's unbelievably quick. The 4-star skills are nice. The weak foot is, okay, it's a 4-star, it's not a 5-star, but it's still more than usable. In terms of traits, he does have the outside of the foot shot trait. He didn't want to use it once or twice with me, unfortunately. I was on that weaker foot, and he took the shot with the weaker foot, but he has the finesse shot as well as flair. It's just a very, very good card. Definitely worth the coins. You get what you pay for. Worth the grind, in my opinion. Links to that Allen. You've got that Lozano foot birthday card, which is very good. Of course, links to versions of Hazard, another one of those cards that's available for the rest of the game. Just a very, very good player that I will urge anyone who doesn't have Ben Yedder, Mbappe, and Neymar on their team to go pick up, because he will improve your front line for sure. Let me know what you think of him in the comments section down below, if you have used him, if you haven't used him, of course. And of course, if you have enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.